The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to the first hour of the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday morning from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. The Art Lewis Show sponsored by Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. Stop in at 4789 State Street to see their newly expanded showroom with everything needed for home decorating. Later on, open phones, and at 11 o'clock this morning, financial wellness will be the topic as we talk to Nolan McIntosh. But for the first part of this hour anyway, we're going to spend time at the zoo, the Saginaw Children's Zoo. And we say good morning to the director of that facility. We say good morning to Nancy Parker. Hi, Nance.
Good morning, Art.
Good to see you. So let's, before we get into some of the nitty-gritty things going on at the zoo, how was this past year? I mean, this is the first year when we're sort of past the pandemic, if you will. Mm-hmm. What was attendance like at the zoo this year?
Yeah, this year was a very interesting year. For the first couple months, we were up double digits in terms of attendance. And as soon as high inflation hit, middle of the year, we started to trail downward. So overall, we're ending up about right around the same as last year. But initially, when the year started, I thought we would be really up.
And yet, you know, the inflation impact is what people are spending elsewhere, because you didn't have to raise your prices at the zoo, did you?
We didn't raise prices, no. There was no price increase. But I think that, you know, if people have to decide between, you know, putting gas in their car to go to work and feeding their children, rightfully so, that those are the two things that they will do, you know, over spending money, you know, I'm going to say disposable income to do other things. And so that high inflation, I think, begins to take an impact.
All right, so let's talk about the physical plant a little bit. What kind of shape is the zoo in?
Well, the zoo actually is in pretty good shape. You know, we've been really doing a lot of improvements. Back in 2015, we had a lot of deferred maintenance, and it was because we didn't have enough money. Our visitors didn't really notice that because I was very good at keeping it so that it was in areas that the visitors didn't see. But we did that. We did about 3 years of that. And then we started to do some other projects. And so one of the first projects we did was to make the train accessible, and we did that in 2018. And then the pandemic hit, just as we were ready to start to do some other projects.
Yeah. So the projects now, did the millage help in that regard in terms of projects?
No, the millage helps in terms of our operating. So it helps with, you know, doing regular maintenance, but it doesn't do new capital projects. We have to raise those monies to do capital projects.
And how do you do that?
We do that through area foundations, which have been very, very wonderful and generous to the zoo, and individuals.
And in terms of the animal population, have you seen a growth there?
We've seen a growth, but, you know, it's like the human population. You know, there are always babies being born and we're always losing people. And, you know, that's what happens in the zoo world, too. So we're right around 200 animals right now. And we don't count all the bees and all the things where we might have thousands.
Yeah, where they fly in, fly out.
Yes. Yes.
So if we let's talk about a couple of things in particular. Penguins.
Yes.
Any more births?
We actually have a breeding recommendation for a pair of our penguins. They are mating, and so we'll know in the early spring whether or not they're successful.
And they lay eggs.
Yes,
Most
they're birds. Yes.
They're birds, they lay eggs,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How
They
many-
nest and then they lay eggs. And we make a decision whether or not they will be good parents in terms of taking care of the egg. Because some eggs will actually give them a substitute that is not real, and then we will incubate.
Oh, really? Why is that? They're not all.
Yeah, just to we kind of watch to see, not all of our penguins can be good parents, and that is taking care of the egg and then taking care of the chick. So we watch both of those things, the care of the egg and then the care of the chick. And we try to have as high a success rate as what we can.
How many chicks have you had now at the?
We've had 2 chicks born at the zoo. Yeah, 2 chicks actually that have survived. We've had other births, but that have not either didn't all the way. It was an egg that didn't make it all the way through the process to hatch, or lost, in the kind of pipping out phase as they come out of the eggshell.
So when you have new chicks like that, do they just add it to your cadre of penguins, or do you share them with other zoos?
Yes, we actually add them to our collection. However, with African penguins, they are very critically endangered. Since 2019, they've lost about 25% of their population in the wild. So African penguins are very much one of the animals that we are working to breed, and then working with genetics with zoos all across the United States so that we can build that population as much as we can. So we have penguins that will be flown into us, and that from another zoo to mate with another penguin. We also will transfer penguins to another facility to be able to mate with another.
How you said something earlier caught my attention. How do you decide which 2 penguins are right to mate with each other?
Well, we make genetic choices, but I can tell you that a few years back, we had a penguin that was named Petey, and they wanted us to ship Petey down to a zoo in New Orleans to mate. And we did. And Petey had absolutely no interest in the male. And they called us about 8 months later and said, would you take Petey back? And we said, okay. Petey was a great bird, so we brought her back in. And when she came back in, there was a pair that was mating, and Petey actually stepped in and broke up that couple, and she is now mated with a male but she wouldn't mate with the male that was down in New Orleans. So animals have their own choices as well in terms of who they mate with.
We'll take a break on that note. We're talking to Nancy Parker, the director of the Saginaw Children's Zoo, and we will have more ahead with Nancy after these notes.
Get ready to take your corn yields to the max with superior genetics and next-level performance. These one-of-a-kind hybrids are derived from the latest, most superior corn genetics from one of the industry's largest corn breeding programs. Enjoy maximum season-long performance and premium seed protection for fast starts and outstanding early season growth with our exclusive MX Series corn by Stein. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
At Simply Safe Home Security, we know in an emergency, the clock is ticking. So we designed an advanced security system powered by live 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe to capture video evidence and verify a threat. Then alert police so you can get higher priority dispatch. Right now, get 40% off any new system. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to save big today. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Is Frankenmuth Aerial Park on your Christmas list? % off regular adult passes. This Black Friday deal ends on December 17th. Find more info at zipandclimb.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of experts care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW Online poll is about Michigan football, the prediction of the college football playoff. For the second consecutive year, Michigan is the Big Ten football champions, and the second straight year, Michigan is in the CFP. Next, playing in the semifinal game New Year's Day, the Fiesta Bowl versus TCU. Michigan, the number 2 seed, TCU, the number 3 seed. Then you have number 1, Georgia versus number 4, Ohio State. Poll question, what will Michigan do in the college football playoff? Will Michigan lose to TCU? The other answers you can choose has Michigan beating TCU, and then your option championship versus Georgia, or losing against Georgia and winning against Ohio State, or losing against Ohio State. Make your votes by going to WSW.com, scrolling down the homepage, and finding the poll box and voting that way.
Why do I have a feeling I know how Michigan State listeners will vote in this poll?
Denise, have you visited the poll yet?
No, but I will check it out.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, what happened in Georgia and does it matter? Are you giving up? Sorry, I'm punting.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Hey, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Nancy Parker, director of the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Nancy, many years ago, before your time, actually, then I was involved with the Zoological Society, and we had a master plan that included all that other land that's east of the zoo. Any thoughts on what's ever going to happen with that?
Well, we have acreage that is at the end of our parking lot, and it goes all the way back to Jefferson. It's about another 16 acres of land. It is all wooded. We currently have a trail that runs through it that we worked with the Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy and that group to help us put that trail in. And that actually, you can come from Jefferson Avenue right on into the zoo area or Hoyt Park area there. And so that is on the north side of that piece of property. We really have a lot more work we want to do on the current property because we have exhibits that are 20 years old or more. And so we're really going to focus on really those upgrades on the 10 acres that we're on for the next 3-4 years. Then we'll make a decision in terms of what goes back there. One of the big ideas that I have kind of in the back of my head is to really do a nature preschool and have kind of an education area that Chippewa Nature Center in Midland has one. It is booked up, continue. They always have a waiting list. And I'd love to see the children in Saginaw County have that same opportunity. And I think we could partner with someone to really do that, use some of the zoo resources and all of that to have a really wonderful experience, but to really partner with people who, do that type of educational programming.
So what would be there?
It would be a building, and it would be adjacent but separate from the zoo property, because we would need to, protect those children. That, and then we still need an educational building for zoo educational programming. So those two things, I don't see that property really ever being developed as manicured as what we currently have our property. We have brick walkways, we have, these little beautiful lamps and that. And I would say that if we go back into that property, it will be more naturally done. That we would have, if we put animals in that area, it would be, more animals that can withstand the Michigan weather when we would have that type of animal back in that area.
And it would seem to me, because it's an educational project, you wouldn't have much problem funding that. I imagine the foundations would step forward on that.
Yes, I think we would have a lot of support for it. And right now we've got a couple years of projects we want to do before then we start to think about that. And what we do with projects is we kind of put some rough plans together and talk to the community and see if they are interested in helping us. And because there are other projects in the community too. So, we're not the only thing in town that is looking to do more for the community. So that always is a balance. And we kind of talk, we don't want to grow the zoo too quickly. We want to be able to, have our business grow and have enough memberships and enough zoo admissions and rides and things like that. So
let's talk a little bit about memberships.
Mm-hmm.
What does someone get for a membership, and what are the levels of the memberships?
They get unlimited admission and unlimited rides. And then we also include our Zubu, our Halloween event and that. And so it's really a good value. A lot of our members come in every week, every other week. We know them. We watch their children grow up, and because we know them and their children. So it's really a very economical way to come to the zoo. And the great piece about, and right now in the month of December, we sell a ton of memberships for gifts. So I just ran into a lady in the parking lot yesterday, and she was there to pick up a couple gift memberships. And so these are wonderful for your, grandchildren.
And what does it do for admission to other zoos?
Oh, yeah, that is another thing. We have a reciprocal arrangement with other accredited zoos across the country. And so, and the information is available on our website, and you can go in and look up. A lot of the zoos will give you either free admission or 50% off admission. And then there's some aquariums also that are in there, and they will give you 50% off. And if you look at some of those other, like our zoo admission prices are very, very low compared to other zoos across the country. So if you like to go into other zoos, that's a great way. And you can look up to see where you're going and, do we have a reciprocal agreement with them? But we have them with a lot of zoos all across the country.
Explain what accreditation has brought you.
Accreditation really is for us access to animals where we can move animals from our zoo to another zoo. It gives us access to all types of animal information. For example, for our African penguins, there's a whole network of zoos out there. There are like 35 other zoos that have African penguins. So let's say all of a sudden one penguin gets sick or showing something that we haven't seen before, it's unknown to us. We can reach out to all those other facilities that really help us to maintain standards, set standards, and provide a whole group of resources for us.
Who's the accrediting agency?
The Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and we commonly refer to it as AZA.
And they come in, how often do they come in?
Every 5 years, we're required to go through and the accreditation process. And we submit all of our protocols and policies, and they have access to all kinds of records. And then we file all those. That will be done in 2024, early 2024. And then during our season, probably about June, we will have 3 inspectors come in, and they will go through all of our facilities. They'll go through our animal records. They'll go through our veterinary records, and they will make sure that we're meeting the standard that they set for accreditation.
I know one of the things that's happened when they've come and looked, they've seen the little gardens.
Yes.
Stolen the idea, haven't they?
Yes. Well, they did steal the idea, but we did give them our materials, because one of the things that they always say to me is, how many horticultural employees do you have on staff? And when I say none, it's all volunteers, they just can't believe it. And these other zoos that have started these programs, and it says a lot about our community and who we are, and that, because they can't get them going the way that we have it going. We have over 100 gardens in our zoo. We have always a waiting list for people that want to have a garden. So that for us is, I always say we have almost as many gardens as we do animals, and they're all different too. People put their own little kind of fun spin on it, or their own theme, and it's wonderful. We love our gardeners. They do a phenomenal job, and they make us stand out. We're a small zoo, but we are a wonderful zoo.
So if somebody's interested, I know there's a waiting list, but how big a plot are we talking about when we talk about these gardens? How big are they?
Some of them are like, I'm going to say 4 by 6 feet. Some of them are bigger than that. Depends on where it is in the zoo. And some people want just a little plot, and some people really like to garden, and they like to come into the zoo, and it's fun for them and fun for us. And so some of these gardens are as much as, I'm going to say 8 by 10, or maybe even a little bigger than that. So everywhere we can put a garden, we do.
All right, I want to talk about something else, and I've never understood this. The zoo has peafowls that roam around.
Yes.
What keeps them there?
We feed them and take care of them.
And they're smart enough to know that this is home, huh?
Yes. Every now and then, we'll have one that, just wants to be in the parking lot or something, but rarely. They're safe in the zoo. They roost at night, and, they have food sources, and that's their home. And they rarely leave.
Yeah. Well, they're there all the time. I mean, and they're not afraid of you.
No, quite the contrary. Yes. And when something's happening in the zoo, if we have somebody working in the zoo, the peafowl are right there, and I always call them supervisors, because they always have to be watching what's going on in the zoo.
Well, Nancy, closed for the season now, I'm assuming.
Yes, we are.
And you will reopen when?
Mid-April.
Mid-April. Any new animals coming in?
We have actually, well, we may have a baby penguin, hopefully, in that. And we have a project we're working on that will end up with some reptiles. It won't be ready for the 2023 season, but in the 2023 season, we'll actually be under construction for some visitor amenities in that, for nursing rooms, quiet rooms, accessible restrooms. And so we're doing that project first. And then the next project, we're redoing a building in the zoo. So there will be a lot of things for people to see as we do that building. And that will be the following year.
Well, Nancy, as always, good to talk to you, and wish you a Merry Christmas for you and all the animals.
Thank you.
And people should understand too, it's a year-round project. You have to have people there taking care of those animals.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. And typically we do a program for third grade students called our Living Learning Lab. And we do that in the winter where third grade students come to the zoo for a day. Because of COVID, we haven't resumed that yet. We plan to resume it this next year, but we do that. So we really are a 12-month-a-year facility in terms of our programming. It's just that we're not open to visitors that whole time period.
Well, listen, have yourself a very, very good holiday season, and we will talk to you near the opening in April.
Thank you, Art. Look forward to seeing you again, and happy holidays to you as well.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Thanks.
Nancy Parker, she is the director of the Saginaw Children's Zoo. We thank her for her time this morning. Open phones now for the remainder of the program right up through 11 o'clock at 989-752-6111.
Service. Well, the folks at M&R Garage Door have built their business on it. In fact, it's fair to say that service is their specialty. M&R Garage Door has earned the right to say that by taking care of their customers in the Tri-Cities for over 50 years. M&R Garage Doors has doors for every style and every budget. This Christmas, give the gift they can open every day of the year. Call M&R at 894-0971 for all of your garage door and opener needs. Remember, M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
George Thorogood, bad of the ball, shaking down the thunder. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Plug in and rock hard. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office. The New Year's Street Party starts here. George Thorogood and the Destroyer. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Every warrior needs support. I did. After my time in the military, I struggled with mental health and some substance abuse.
That's when Tanya called the Veteran Navigator program and was matched with me. We helped connect her to the mental health and substance abuse care she needed and cared for her family too. Get connected to a veteran navigator at michigan.gov/walkingwithwarriors.
Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Broadcasters.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize this ad for Amber, who really misses.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy ships, afloat by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see smiles that have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment. Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices Harbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
WSGW invites you to join with Covenant Kids, Impact Saginaw Credit Unions for Lights Before Christmas. It's an opportunity for you to help shine a little light into the lives of hospitalized children during the holidays. Every night from Monday, December 5th through Friday, December 9th, you're invited to the Covenant Healthcare parking lot at 1000 Houghton Avenue in Saginaw. You can start gathering around 6:30 p.m. and at 7 lights toward the windows of the hospitalized kids for 2 minutes. You can shine flashlights, glow foam tubes, or anything that lights up. Free flashlights will be provided to the first 100 attendees each night by Impact Saginaw Credit Unions. Each evening, a different musical act will be featured for entertainment, from cookies and hot chocolate and more to be given away. And you can further help by donating a new unwrapped toy at Impact Saginaw Credit Union locations. Visit WSGW.com and click on the Lights Before Christmas box for all the information you need so you can join in.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, here we are back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Good music of the season in the background there. And we will have open phones from now till 11 o'clock, 989-752-6111. The Georgia Senate runoff between Pastor Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker is decided. It's over. And as the polls indicated, Senator Warnock has won a 6-year term in the Senate. And he won over Republican challenger Herschel Walker on Tuesday. I think the interesting thing about this election is not who won and lost, because it was pretty well anticipated that Warnock would keep the seat, although it was a tight race. But what I think is most interesting, and I think positive about it, is the high voter turnout. Georgians had faced what many were calling voter fatigue over the last few years because they've had to participate in all kinds of contests. The 2020 presidential election, a couple of 2021 Senate runoff contests, and the midterms this year, and then another runoff. And yet they turned out in huge numbers for the state. I think I read that it was estimated that roughly 3.3 million people voted in total, either through absentee or early voting or on election day. A huge turnout. That's a good thing. It is always good when more people participate. Now, what does this mean for the Senate? And what does it mean for Donald Trump? Well, it's not good news for Donald Trump because another of his candidates has gone down to defeat. Although, what's interesting is that he was sort of absent. He was not overly involved in recent days in this race. And not only did he not show up, but a lot of the money needed to run a campaign didn't show up. The Democrats ran away with the money game. No two ways about it. But what does it mean for the Senate? Well, it gives the Democrats a 51-49 margin without the vice president. If you look at the vice president being included, then it's a 52-49 margin. What that does is, in some ways, mitigates the power of Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, the two of the more conservative Democratic caucus members. As you'll remember, over the last several years, Joe Manchin in particular was the power broker in the Senate. If he chose to vote against his caucus, they couldn't win because the numbers would then fall to the Republican side. Well, with an extra vote now, that 51 instead of 50, if he decided to vote against something, they could still win because they'd have 50 votes plus the vice president. If he and Kristen Sinema both decided to vote against something, then that would be a different story. But it certainly reduces their power as individuals because no one single person on the Democratic side could hold up things because they chose to not support something. Indeed, that one extra vote, that one little vote, means a whale of a lot to Democrats. Now, it won't mean much to the president's agenda. Why do I say that? I say that because the Republicans have the House. It's unlikely they're going to do anything to support the president's agenda. What it will do, though, is help the president in terms of his judicial appointments, cabinet appointments, etc. So it's finally done. The election of 2022, for the most part, is finished. There may be a couple of recounts someplace going on, but nothing that's going to change the overall outlook. That is, the Republicans now control the House. The Democrats control the Senate and the White House. And that's the way it'll be for the next couple of years. Now we can start getting into presidential politics because after the first of the year, candidates will be coming out of the woodwork. And the reason that presidential politics seems to get earlier and earlier and earlier is a 5-letter word: money. They need to get out there, get their name out there, and try and hit the donors early before those donors go someplace else. It's all about getting the money. Now, some of them may already have a war chest, but it'd be interesting to see how many candidates come out on the Republican side against Donald Trump and how many Democrats may come out on the Democrat side against Joe Biden. Even though he has not officially announced, all the indications and what he's been saying and doing lead one to believe that he's going to run again. Time will tell. All right, we'll take a break, come back. The lines are open for you. If you want to chat, give us a call.
We all bring something unique to the table, and at Jolt Credit Union, we celebrate that. We're more than a credit union. We're your advocate, invested in your well-being. Our roots run deep in the Great Lakes Bay region, and we understand that by helping our members achieve their personal goals, our whole community is made that much stronger. We're proud to serve our members with branches in Saginaw, Bay City, and Essexville. We make a promise to every member to give it all we've got, every day and everywhere. Lead to memorable results. So roll up your sleeves and join us as we go all in. Become a member today by visiting a nearby branch or get started at joltcu.com. Jolt Credit Union, offering a powerful shift to a better way of banking. Federally insured by NCUA.
We all know clean fields lead to strong yields. That's why XtendFlex to dicamba, glyphosate, and glufosinate to control more weed species than any other soybean system. Even tough weeds like water hemp, Palmer amaranth, and mare's tail. Get the control, flexibility, and proven performance you need so you can focus on the business at hand instead of beating back weeds. Explore the Roundup Ready Extend crop system at systemofchoice.com. Claim based on approved EPA herbicide labels as of January 2021. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
As a farmer, growing your business is more than just a 9-to-5. It's your life's work. That's why the Roundup Ready all in to help you stay on top, backed by decades of innovation, offering the latest trait technology and triple herbicide tolerance, plus more weed species controlled than any other soybean system. Because you mean business, and so do we. Learn more at systemofchoice.com. Claim based on approved EPA herbicide labels as of January 2021. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bubble Tea Brew House. You are going to get a family 4-pack of bubble teas from the Bubble Tea Brew House in Saginaw for only $12. It's usually $24, but you are getting it half off. At 4370 Bay Road in Saginaw. And they have hundreds of flavor combinations. Literally, you pick it, you get it. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
At the United States Postal Service, we're here to deliver fast and reliable service to help you get holiday ready. We offer free package pickup and deliver free shipping supplies to your address. So whether you're in Garland, Texas, Rudolph, Wisconsin, or anywhere in between, we're making it easier for you to spread festive cheer this holiday season. USPS, delivering for America. For all your holiday needs, including info about free shipping supplies, free package pickup availability, and restrictions, go to USPS.com/holidays.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Turning shot, save and rebound, and a shot they score! He cashes in on the loose puck, and Saginaw has a 5-3 lead in the third period.
The Saginaw Spirit continue their weekend road trip with a stop at the Barrie Colts on Thursday night. Join Dylan Clark for all the action, with coverage beginning at 7:15 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. The Spirit are back home next week. Visit SaginawSpirit.com for ticket info.
It's Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show on this Wednesday morning. To the phones we go, and we say good morning to Dan in Bay City. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. I just got the end of your how much money the elections cost and everything.
Yep.
Well, I just happened yesterday. I was reading that Donald Trump had raised already like $240 million.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time it's primary time, he'd probably have about $500 million, or most of the candidates will all, have all that money. What happens to that money if they don't get into the race for president?
There are rules established on what that money can be used for, and typically it ends up going to other candidates. After they pay all their expenses, they can contribute some of that money to other candidates. There may be other things that I'm not familiar with, but I know that one is there. And that's what happens a lot of times. But you know what? Think about this now. The Georgia race that just happened cost $380 million in total. Having $250,000, having $250 million in your war chest for president doesn't even scratch the surface. And then you're right, it's obscene, but it's the way it is. I mean, it's It's gotten it frightfully expensive, and you know what's even worse about it? The candidates have to raise a lot of money for their campaign. But then think of all the money that comes out of the PACs, the political action committees, that doesn't go through the candidates. And it's millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And, it's just, I question it sometimes. I question it all the time. But it's part of the game. I mean, it's just the way politics has gotten. I mean, it's always been expensive relative to the times.
That's very true. Yeah, I was just kind of curious, but I guess you answered my question.
Yeah, there are rules in place.
Yeah, maybe if it wasn't like 2 years, maybe if we just didn't start this, like make it 6 months.
There was talk a number of years ago. There was talk about that a number of years ago, limiting the political season, if you will.
Yeah.
But the way our country is constituted, that wasn't part of the founding fathers' visions.
No, it's our freedoms.
Yeah, it's it. So it's gonna stay this way. And to be honest with you, as much as I rail against it sometimes coming out so early, I'd rather have it that way than have a very, very narrow season where you don't get a lot of information about the candidates. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, pros and cons. All right, thanks. All
right. Thanks, you too. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. All right, we're going to take our last pause here for this hour, but we will come back. It's open phones all next hour on the Art Lewis Show.
Mike here from Westside Decorating Center. Are you looking to save time when shopping? We all are. The next time you need paint, flooring, or window treatments, stop into our store. We have fast, efficient, and knowledgeable staff members available to help. We sell top quality ceramic paint from California Paints. Ceramic paints provide a washable and stain-resistant finish. We also have interior designers on staff to assist with flooring and window treatments. We even make house calls. For your next project, remember to use California Paints from Westside Decorating Center. We're located at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com.
Have a good sense of humor and like craft beers? Come to the 11th Annual Brew Ha Ha, January 13th and 14th at the Dow Event Center. Brew Ha Ha has 2 comedy shows each night. Over 40 breweries featuring over 160 styles of beer, cider, and meats. Tickets include a souvenir pint glass, sample tickets, and the comedy show. VIP tickets include unique samples and Q&A with brewing experts. Get your tickets early to Brew Ha Ha. Saturday night always sells out. Find out everything at doweventcenter.com.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America Network billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, that'll wrap up this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. Next hour, we will have open phones for the entire hour for you here on WSGW and on Focus. Financial Health with Nolan McIntosh from the McIntoshes will be our guest. Meantime, news is coming up. CBS will bring you up to date on the nation and the world. And Michael Perch will be in the WSGW newsroom to tell you what's happening in the region and the state of Michigan. Then we will be back with lots more on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. The Supreme Court hears arguments this hour in a North Carolina case involving state lawmakers and their power over redistricting and voting rules. Correspondent Jan Crawford has our top story from Washington.
Republicans in the legislature drew up a new congressional map that was extremely favorable to them. So the Democrats challenged that. And the state Supreme Court, which is majority Democrat, threw out the Republican maps. So the Republicans then decided they're going to pull out this novel new theory. The U.S. Constitution gives state legislatures the sole authority to set the time, places, and manner of holding congressional elections.
Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock heads back to work in Washington today after a projected win in a contentious runoff race.
I'm proud of the bipartisan. Intend to do more because I actually believe that at the end of the day, we are all Americans.
His victory over Republican Herschel Walker will give Democrats a 51-49 majority in the Senate. A federal judge has ordered a Wisconsin company that cleans hundreds of slaughterhouses nationwide to show proof it's complying with child labor laws. Investigators say they found at least workers scrubbing and sanitizing equipment on overnight shifts at 5 different plants in 3 states. Thousands of police officers carried out raids across Germany, rounding up 25 people connected to a group called Reich Citizens over an alleged plot to overthrow the government in an armed coup. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata is at the foreign desk.
Whether or not a clear and present danger to the German state, it was serious enough to launch 3,000 officers, including special forces, to round up those suspects in early morning raids. 130 raids all across the country, with 2 more people arrested in Austria and Italy by authorities there.
Locations included a German special forces barracks. More than a week after widespread protests, China does a surprising about-face on its zero COVID policy. Changes include an end to regular mandatory testing and quarantining at home. Some are wary.
I'm confused. Is zero COVID better, or should we learn to live with the virus? This government flip-flop. I'm just not sure which side to pick.
Time Magazine's 2022 Person of the Year, President Volodymyr Ukrainian Spirit. The magazine's editor-in-chief, Edward Felsenthal, calls the decision the most clear-cut in memory. Dow down 39. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
Some things are never really a choice, like wearing your muddy boots in the house, quitting before the job's done, buying seed without service. They just don't make sense. That's why AgriGold gives you the best of both worlds. We're big enough to deliver top-tier genetics and traits, but small enough to give you the personalized service you need to thrive. Because like you, we know choosing seed without service isn't really a choice. Need help choosing? Learn more at ChooseAgriGold.com.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 36 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchuk. Police in Saginaw are trying to identify a porch pirate who's caught on a resident's security camera. In a post on Facebook, the Saginaw Police Department say the man, who they've dubbed the Grinch, took Amazon packages from the resident's porch right under the nose of a stuffed Grinch Christmas decoration. The suspect is a black male and was wearing a black coat, hat, and pants at the time and drove a black SUV. Suspect and the vehicle can be found on the Saginaw Police Department Facebook page or at WSGW.com. Anyone with information is asked to call Detective Ryan Jaruski at 989-759-1231. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has appointed a circuit court judge to fill a seat vacated in Genesee County following the resignation of Judge Joseph Farah. Farah came under fire earlier this year after he was accused of sexual misconduct by a former intern and MSU law student, prompting Farah to resign effective November 9th. However, Farah was unopposed on the Genesee County ballot for 7th Circuit Court, so Whitmer has appointed Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Kari Hannibal to the bench. Hannibal previously worked in the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Unit for the County Prosecutor's Office. He was also a lawyer with the Kerger Law Firm in Michigan and Ohio. An anonymous donor has made a gift of free lunches at Bay City schools. The school district participates in a program called the Community, which provides lunches to students in almost all of their buildings except for Western middle and high schools. WNEM TV5 reports the donor paid off any debt owed by any student for any meal charged up to this point of the school year. However, charges will continue to accrue for those lunches, according to the district. The donor is hoping others will follow his lead throughout the rest of the school year. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Service. It's hard to find these days. Well, the folks at M&R Garage Door have built their business on it. In fact, it's fair to say that service is their specialty. M&R Garage Door has earned the right to say that by taking care of their customers in the Tri-Cities for over 50 years. M&R Garage Doors has doors for every style and every budget. This Christmas, give the gift they can open every day of the year. Call M&R at 894-0971 for all of your garage door and opener needs. Remember, M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty. Frankenmuth Credit Union presents the 6th annual Bay City Country Music Festival featuring Jimmy Allen. Girl, what's your name? What's your drink? Yeah, what's your and Friday, June 16th, featuring Mitchell Tenpenny. And this year, a third show on Saturday, June 17th, featuring Nelly. Get your tickets today at KenSheltonPromotions.com. Also sponsored by J&B Boots USA.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has proclaimed today Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, honoring the 2,403 Americans who lost their lives. 1,178 were wounded, and those members of our armed forces that served alongside them. The governor says flags are lowered to half-staff today to honor those who were wounded or died at Pearl Harbor, and the more than 600,000 Michiganders who in World War II. U.S. Army Major General Paul Rogers, Adjutant General and Director of the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, says he's humbled by the strength of the American spirit and the bravery of the veterans who continue to inspire others to sacrifice for our freedoms. The U.S. Congress designated December 7th as National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, August 23rd, 1994. Every year, remembrance events are held throughout Michigan and at the Pearl Harbor. Two colleges are working together to help students achieve a four-year degree, which will benefit students and possibly the state. Here's Michigan News Network's Tony Ortiz.
Henry Ford College and the University of Michigan Dearborn recently announced a partnership that will see graduates of Henry Ford with a grade point average of 2.5 or higher given guaranteed admission to the University of Michigan Dearborn. I had a chance to ask Henry Ford College President Russell Cavalhuna what's been the reaction of the students to this plan.
Well, I can tell you what I really like, and that is to see the students' eyes light up when I tell them on my campus, have you ever thought about transfer? And they say, yeah, I think so. And then I say, well, why don't you just make sure you graduate here and get the grade point average you need, and you won't have to even ask for permission. And their eyes light up.
Cavalhuna also says that he's working to implement this plan with other four-year universities in the Metro Detroit area, as well as throughout the state of Michigan. I'm Tony Ortiz for the Michigan News Network.
WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Perchuk.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast.
For today, with a high into the mid 40s, winds out of the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and a low around 30. By Thursday, partial sunshine develops, high 38 degrees. Friday, a chance for snow early, then mixing with rain, then becoming all rain late. Cloudy skies and a high around 40. Saturday, partial sunshine develops, high 40 degrees. Then by Sunday, a chance for snow early, mostly cloudy skies, high around 42. Monday, mostly cloudy, we'll see high 41 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer. GW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 36.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, an open line hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. From my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, we also welcome our sponsor, Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. Stop in at 4789 State Street to see their newly expanded showroom and everything needed for home decorating. And we thank Westside Decorating Center and Mike Stoddard for sponsoring the Art Lewis Show. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. It is December 7th, 2022, the day of infamy, as it was proclaimed, the day that Pearl Harbor was attacked, and it will be one of those events that will never go away. We will always remember. Other things in life seem to have a life of their own and they disappear. We don't think about them. This is one of those events that I think will always be in the forefront at this time of year. And, a fair warning on how we have to be diligent in our society. So, and there's a lot of discussion. There has been a lot of discussion over the years of whether or not we should have known that Pearl Harbor was about to be attacked. There was all kinds of discussion about it. Not having been there and not having been born yet, I can't tell you what was said, what wasn't said, but it is something that we think about from time to time. Carl's in Saginaw, so we say good morning to Carl.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I saw some of the pictures on the news this morning about the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and when you see that, even though you've seen it, many times before.
Yep.
And what you said about should we have seen it coming, from what I understand of that, the U.S. Navy knew an attack was going to come somewhere. They knew the Japanese were going to attack somewhere. They never expected it to be Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
We were pushing up against Japan. They were expanding east. We were expanding west, and it was only a matter of time, before the two countries, there was going to be a war. There was no question about that. I actually called Art a couple of weeks ago. You brought up the most dangerous intersections in Saginaw.
Yeah. There was a story about that.
And stuff like that. I think part of the problem is that it doesn't seem to be consistent how the left green arrows work. On some intersections, the green arrow is before the green light.
Yep.
Some intersections, the green arrow is after the green light. Sometimes it's a yellow arrow.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go green at all.
Yep.
You know, and it changes depending on what hour of the day it is.
Here's my thoughts
You know,
on that, Carl. See what you think of this. I understand what you're saying, and yes, there is inconsistency. You're absolutely right about that. I notice it every day. I don't believe that's what's causing the accidents, though. What's causing the accidents, I think, in large regard, are people that don't follow those signals and try and beat the light through the intersection. The arrows are there.
Yeah.
They're going to turn. They may even turn red, but somebody's approached it already, so they barrel right through, and the next thing you know, there's an accident in the middle of the intersection. I suspect that if we checked accident records, a lot of it would be those people failing to slow down and stop for those lights. That'd be my guess. I understand the confusion part where you don't know whether it's going to go first or last, but it's right in front of you. You don't move if it doesn't change. So whether it changes first or last really shouldn't have much impact, but it may have some.
Yeah.
I'll yield to that.
I turn at State and Weineke a lot.
Yep.
And sometimes, you know, the green arrow doesn't even come on. You know, it just changes red. The green arrow never comes on at all. So you're waiting, and then all of a sudden, and then
I have a question.
I think they could do it.
When it doesn't come on, are you already at the intersection sitting still? The reason I ask that is I don't know whether this is true or not, but I suspect there may be some type of detection system that if they don't detect a car at the turn lane, it doesn't go to green or yellow, that it just goes to red.
Well, that was one of my questions for you today. Have you noticed the intersection of Tittabawassee and Midland Road? If you look up around by the traffic lights, there are all these
little sensors,
antennas.
Yeah.
And so they're measuring to see if there's traffic in different lanes and where they are.
Assuming that's what those things
like
are, yeah.
So they wouldn't turn the light red unless there was traffic waiting coming the other way or something?
If it would detect that there's traffic waiting to turn, the arrows should appear. But again, that's speculation on my part. I just want that clear. I'm not a traffic engineer. I haven't designed those systems, but it just seems to me that as I approach, for example, Gratiot and Midland Road, I have come up to that to make a turn, but I hadn't gotten to the end of the turn lane as the lights were all changing and the arrow changed red. Other times I've made it to the end and sat there and I get an arrow. So I wonder if there's some kind of, detection as to whether or not you're in the lane or not.
Well, that could be. Okay, now my last question. If you drive out Freeland Road, and I imagine you do, you get out to Sass Road, or is it Sassy Road? And there's a traffic circle out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of all these cornfields. There's a traffic circle.
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Been out there.
Oh yeah, I've been around that traffic circle a number of times. I don't know why that one's there. I understand the one at Freeland and River, but I don't understand. I don't understand the one out in the middle of nowhere, unless for some reason there were a number of accidents there that we don't know about. I don't know, but I know exactly where you're talking about.
It's so strange because you can see like 2 miles in every direction.
Yeah,
it's all
I know it.
Cornfields, and whenever I go through there, there's no traffic at all.
Yeah. All right. Oh well, something to ponder.
Intersections.
We'll
That's
talk
it
to you.
about intersections.
Yeah. Take care. All right,
All right,
Carl. We'll
thanks.
talk to you down the road. And let's talk to Connie in Brant. Connie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. I have a question that maybe some of the listeners from Bay City could help me with. this last Friday, my husband and I were in Bay City, and we were in the area of Euclid and Wilder.
Right.
And there was just the awfulest smell in the air. Couldn't figure out what it was. So I was wondering if anybody would have any kind of an idea.
Which way was the wind blowing? And the reason I ask is sometimes that comes off of the sugar plant.
Oh, okay. Because I had told some people there was maybe just a hint of sweetness in it.
Yeah, it's possible that that the wind was blowing from the south, and you were picking up the aromas coming off of the sugar plant. That's a possibility.
Okay, that very easily could be. And then, have you got time? Another minute or so?
Sure.
I might have an answer on why time seems to be going so fast.
Oh, please do tell me.
Okay, I have used this often. You remember the old cassette tapes?
Oh, yeah.
And when you put them in a tape recorder, they go really slow for a long time. And then when they get to the end, they are going extremely fast. And they could even come off from the other end of the cassette. So as time goes on that cassette tape, it goes faster and faster. And the world is, there is a holy and just God who is going to be putting an end to all of this wickedness very soon. He's going to say enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really do think that's why time is seems to be
Fair
going
enough.
faster.
I'll have some comments. I got to take a break.
Thank you very much, Art.
You bet, Connie. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. Speaking of time, we have time to take a break here, and then we will be back.
Baking cakes wasn't part of Edible's original game plan, but who can resist a slice of rich chocolate cake topped with strawberries and whipped frosting? Probably not you, and definitely not us. Sweet for sharing or sweet for snacking on your own, these chocolate masterpieces are just the right size for birthday parties or those random treats for yourself. Find a store near you at edible.com and pick up your chocolate cake with strawberries and whipped frosting today. Be sweet today with a sweet from Edible Arrangements on Tittabawassee and Michigan. Are you getting the most out of your Medicare benefits? Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th, so call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar, now including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 586-988-1832 today and speak with a licensed sales agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices may vary by plan or area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Beat the winter blues and get away from the cold. How far away is up to you. Let Kapogo Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation loan. See a Kapogo Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's to a tropical island or just any place with palm trees, with Kapogo Community Credit Union. Find out more at kapogo.org. Member NCUA.
You might get wireless data everywhere, but do you have to use it all the time? If that's not really you, there's TracFone. You can get the same nationwide 5G coverage as big carriers, but you pick a plan that you need for a lot less. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $15 a month, no contract. And now get a Nokia $9.99. TracFone. Now you're in control. While supplies last, 1 month equals 30 days. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower and turned higher. Workers were getting more accomplished in the summer quarter. Productivity rose 0.8%. Companies are paying more for staff, though the unit labor cost increase of 2.4% is down from earlier in the year. Campbell's Soup is for the year at summer quarter top forecasts, Campbell's is seeing continued demand for its products. Its supply chain situation has improved. Stitch Fix lost more money than expected in the summer quarter. The online personal styling company has lowered expectations for the year. Home improvement company Lowe's says it is standing by its forecast for this year, and it will be buying back 15 of stock. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Starting to realize your small business is a little overwhelmed by the holiday rush? It's still not too late to get all of your shipping and mailing under control with Stamps.com. Sign up right now. Postage in just minutes with discounted USPS and UPS shipping rates. Just go to Stamps.com. Click the mic at the top of the page and use code BUSINESS for a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code BUSINESS.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WS.
You got Taste Left in My Mouth by Scrooge O'Reilly.
I heard that.
Bill O'Reilly's commentary this morning was basically saying, it's Christmas and it's too early. Bah, humbug.
Turn off those Christmas movies and turn off that Christmas music until after the 15th.
Cold in the stocking for Bill O'Reilly.
Man.
Sometimes Christmas can seem a little shoved or early, but
early, especially when you hear some music on November the 1st. When he was talking about movies, I have to agree with him on this one that my favorite Christmas Carol movie is the one with Alistair Sim. But he said that's the best Christmas movie, and it's not. We all know that It's a Wonderful Life, followed closely by Die Hard.
I was thinking the Muppets. I love the Muppets Christmas Carol.
With Pat and Denise.
Sure.
Watch Die Hard and the Muppets Christmas.
Too bad Bruce Willis and the Muppets never got together.
Oh my gosh, that would have been great. The Muppets Die Hard Christmas Carol.
Your morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, what happened in Georgia and does it? Sorry, I'm punting.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Traffic note for you, southbound I-75, just south of the Birch Run exit, is at a standstill for about a mile. Several police vehicles on the scene, causes unknown. Probably an accident, but again, we don't know for sure. But southbound 75, south of Birch Run exit, is at a standstill for about a mile. So if you're going down there, you can get off and scoot over to the Dixie Highway and go down the Dixie for a ways and then come back on down around Clio. So there you go. All right. Lines open for you at Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free. Well, they're all toll free anymore. It's just that's the number, 989-752-6111 on this December 7th. And it's that time of year, you know, it's interesting. I talked to Nancy Parker last hour from the zoo, asked her about attendance this year. And she said something very interesting, that the attendance started out very strong at the beginning of the year. And if you remember back then, inflation was just starting to take hold. And as the summer went on and inflation got higher, the attendance got lower because people had to make decisions on what they were going to spend. So I'm curious, has inflation changed much of what you do? For example, Have you changed the types of food you buy? Have you reduced the number of times maybe you eat out? Will it affect what you spend at Christmas? And obviously, this all depends on your income level. Obviously, lower middle and lower income folks have to make some serious decisions. It's interesting that inflation impacts us in all kinds of ways. Let's talk to Jim, who is in Freeland. Jim, good morning.
Hi, Art. How you doing today?
We're doing well, thanks.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I always want to commend you for your patience talking to your callers.
Yeah,
much more than I. But anyway, I've been noticing, well, a couple of times the sports zone, a big blade coming down the highway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going south.
Yeah, I got behind one the other day.
Yesterday, we were coming from Midland on 10 and going to hit the Freeland exit, and that overpass. Here's a big windmill blade parked. You know, they must have been doing something. So I'm telling my wife that I think they're going to come down that highway to the Midland Road, and then go down to the Midland Road where conjunction with State Street, then go to Gratiot. And they're going west on Gratiot. I don't know, narrow, but that's the third time I've seen windmills on that road.
Yeah, they may be building new ones out there. I mean, there are a lot of windmills out there already, so it wouldn't be surprised if that's where they were heading. I don't know that for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's where they were going.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, we've seen them when we're out on the bay sailing. That we'll see them coming in on by the shipload.
Yeah. That's what they do. They bring them in on the ship.
Yep.
They have
upriver.
They have the blades and the motors and everything on the ship, and they all come off in certain order, and then they haul them around. I was out. I had to go to Cairo a couple of weeks ago, and it's the first time I can remember going out that way where every single blade was turning.
Oh,
and there's a ton of them out there. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of them, and every single one of them was turning. And I went, "Wow, that's the first time I'd ever seen that."
I wonder how if we get a good wind, you know, a gentle, strong breeze, how they store the electricity. It's different from the power plants where they can shovel in more coal or turn on the natural gas.
Well, I suspect, I don't know this for
How
sure.
do they store it? Does it
I
it must
suspect
go on the grid.
I don't know if they have to. I think it goes on the grid and gets used right away. I suspect. I don't know of storage facilities around here. There's a battery storage facility over on Lake Michigan, but around here, I would have to think it just hits the grid.
Which is good.
And the more that hits the grid, the less they have to generate at the plants.
Yeah, the two plants at the mouth of the river across from our boat club, they're, I guess, anticipating in 3 or 4 years tearing those down.
No, well, they'll be gone in either coal, I think 2025, but it may be sooner. The Carnwetic plants, they'll be out of commission because they're going to not use coal anymore. There is a peaking plant there that's an oil. Yeah, well, right now they are because they're still using it. But there's a peaking plant there too, which is, I want to say that's oil fired, I think.
I remember them bringing in long tanker.
Sure, absolutely.
All connected by piping, so they can go directly from the cars.
Right.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, I hate to lose out on our generating plants and rely on other sources. And boy, I'd just soon leave them, one or two in the bank.
Yeah, well, that horse is out of the barn. That horse is done.
Yep.
That's a done deal. I think a lot of people are concerned whether or not they're going to be able to meet the demands, particularly as we have more and more electric vehicles and all kinds of other things. Now, consumers and DTE both say, yes, we can do that, and we know that, and our plans include that. Time will tell.
Yeah, they're hoping.
You're hoping.
That's for sure.
All right.
Well, anyway.
Good enough, Jim.
thanks.
Have a Merry
Have a good
Christmas.
one.
Yep. Thanks.
You too. Thank you very much.
You
Bye
bet.
now.
Take care. Bye-bye now. 989-752-6111 will put you in touch with us, whatever you'd like to chat about on this December 7th, 2022. We'll be right back.
Had your family's eyes checked lately? Most insurances end at the end of the year, so if you don't use it, you lose it. Now's the time to get that annual exam you've been putting off. Having school-aged children's eyes checked can help treat possible issues with schoolwork and prevent other eye-related diseases. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Hello, this is Kevin from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are Mid-Michigan's premier CPL Academy. Our instructors teach in a friendly environment using state-of-the-art video simulation tools and a live fire range to help you build self-defense skills and learn proper technique. Visit our website, simu-range.com, simu-range.com to book your training session today. Use code RADIO25 to save $25. Applied Training Solutions, forward thinking, on target training.
Bay City Bridge Partners is bringing you the same convenient route between home, work, school, and many of Bay City's best restaurants and attractions. It's Liberty Bridge, but better. With a smooth new deck surface, new more reliable bascule mechanics, electronics, and technology, saving you time and fuel costs, and adding another 75 years of life to help elevate and grow the Bay City community. Learn about the ease of electronic tolling and pre-register for a transponder account at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
Hometown feel and big time winning. That's Saginaw Eagles Landing. The place with smile after smile. In the casino, at the restaurants, or in the hotel. This is a getaway that makes you feel right at home. We've got hundreds of slots, great food, and a comfy place to stay. So come on in and see what the good times are all about. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I just found someone the perfect gift. And when my friend asked where they could get it, I said only at Kohl's. I've been gift shopping there and getting Kohl's cash every day while saving on must-haves like sweaters from Propt & Barrow and Sonoma Goods for Life starting at $19.99. Cookware from the Food Network at 20% off. And cute boots from So and LC Lauren Conrad starting at $23.99. Plus, you could take an extra 20% off or save more with the Kohl's card. So get to Kohl's now. You'll thank me later. Select styles, 20% offer until December 11th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bubble Tea Brew House. You are going to get a family 4-pack of bubble teas from the Bubble Tea Brew House in Saginaw for only $12. It's usually $24, but you are getting it half off. The Bubble Tea Brew House is located at 4370 Bay Road in Saginaw, and they have hundreds of flavor combinations. Literally, you pick it, you get it. Head to Rocket now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
JJ fired towards the end zone. Up. Got it! Touchdown, Wolverines! Runs through a tackler to the goal line. Donovan Edwards, touchdown! JJ's got it, fires to the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown! Ronnie Bell in the back of the end zone. The Michigan Wolverines, back-to-back Big Ten championships.
The undefeated and back-to-back Big Ten champion Michigan Wolverines are back in the college football playoff semifinals, where they will face TCU in the Fiesta Bowl on December 31st. Coverage begins At 4 on 790 News Radio WSGW. Michigan Championship Football is brought to you by Lingle Equipment Company, Schaefer and Beerline Ram Truck in Frankenmuth, Zimomatic Irrigation Solutions, North Bloomfield Properties, and Wolf Isles Ace Hardware in Saginaw. Michigan faces TCU in the National Championship Semis live December 31st at 3 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW. You have a chance to win your mortgage or rent paid for up to $18,000. It's the WSGW Home for the Holidays contest, presented by Dow Credit Union. Enter online at WSGW.com. From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we are back with you here on WSGW. Delighted to be with you today on the Art Lewis Show. And Tom is in James Township. Tom, good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I would like to get your opinion on something that's been... Are you kidding? Are you there?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I want to get your opinion on something that's kind of ate at me for many, many years. I worked since I was a young kid and went through college, blah, blah. But I watched this story last night on one of the local news channels that was kind of verified what I thought all these years, or felt anyway. And this raising of the minimum wage, in my opinion, two things, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't see how I can be as far as common sense is the way my mind works anyway. But, when they raise the minimum wage for these businesses, especially local businesses, obviously they have to raise their prices to stay afloat.
Yep.
And so that puts, everybody at the minimum for everything. So they're not really gaining anything. And the people I consider myself the middle of the middle class, we don't get the opportunities to have raises every year or anything like that. We're stuck in this middle area. And everything goes up around us constantly. We have no raises, so we're constantly struggling to pay bills and to buy groceries and things like that. And I just don't understand, the benefit for anybody or who's benefiting from raising the minimum wage. Because the way I look at it, when I was brought up, and I made $3.20 an hour minimum wage, and it wasn't meant for me to make a living on.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you and I are in agreement. I've said it for years on this program many, many, many times. Every time the minimum wage comes up, it's a vicious circle. You raise the minimum wage, so prices go up. Couple of things happen. Either prices go up or jobs get fewer, because the owners of the businesses have to figure out how they want to continue to be in business. And if prices don't go up, but their wage pay has to go up, then they lose money. So it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and it's foolhardy in a way. I mean, it just what's the limit now? Everybody's talking about, what was it? $15 seems to be the magic number. Well, once they get the $15, the next thing that will happen is $20 will become the magic number. And after that, it'll be $22 or $25, and everything will just keep going up and up and up and up.
I can remember, I went to school. I mean, I paid my own way. I went to college, 4-year bachelor's degree in electronic engineering down in Indiana. And I wanted to come back here because I was born and raised here. And I came back here, and it was in the 83 is when I graduated. 87, 88, because I went year round. I didn't.
Yep.
And I got my degree in 3 years. And I come back here, and I started with a bachelor's degree in engineering. I started at $7 an hour, and they had a $3.50 program that they hooked up. And it was one of the bigger corporations they hooked up to the state of Michigan at that time because the jobs were so bad because we were in a recession.
Yep.
And so I was actually making just under $11 an hour with a 4-year degree in engineering, back then, and it's like, oh, come on now, I mean, really,
well, but also, Tom, let's realize too, in 1983 or 84, $11 an hour, that was a decent wage back then. for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
it was, but you look at it now for engineering, it's crazy.
Well, yeah,
But I know everything's went up, but I thought it was a good comparison. And now you look at what they pay for, like my daughter, she graduated from SVSU with a master's in computer science. And I mean, I don't know if you will ever, recoup the money that we spent, even in a small college like that. I mean,
she's in a good field though. I mean, if you go to college and you study computer science, you have a reasonable opportunity to get a good return on your investment. If you studied underwater basket weaving, you probably wouldn't. And that's it's.
Yeah, and the plus for her is she loves what she does. So,
excellent. That's what I do. I do it because of that same reason. I do what I do because I love it, and
you're good at it.
And it gives me purpose. Well, I appreciate that, but it gives me purpose. I mean, listen. At my age, I don't have to work, but I want to. I enjoy it.
And that's huge. We appreciate that, a lot of us out here anyway. But I just wanted to throw that out there and see what you thought, because
you and I are on the same page.
And that lady last night on the news said that she was, a server at a bar, and she's like, well, if it goes up, I'm gonna have to quit because I'm not gonna get the tips I got, and I'm not gonna be able to afford to work. I'm gonna find a different job somewhere.
Well, I had that discussion at a group I was at the other night. We were talking about the fact that there's an attempt to raise the minimum wage for servers in the hospitality industry to $11 and some odd cents.
That's what they're talking about.
And, well, what that's going to do is it's going to raise restaurant prices tremendously, and it's going to reduce the tips. Will they be ahead? I mean, right now at $3-something an hour, it's assumed that they will make more than minimum wage as servers, and they do. The question is now, if I tip, yeah, go ahead.
Well, they had the owner on there too with after her, and he said the same thing, that I'm going to lose a lot of workers, and there's no way that they're going to get the tips that they get if they're going to do
that's right. That's right. Are they going to be any farther ahead? No. I mean, and we were talking about this last night at this meeting. If you tip 20, and for a really good server, some of us even will go 25% for really good servers.
Yeah, I do.
That's going to go down to maybe 10%, maybe 5%. I mean, if they're making 11-something an hour, I don't feel as obligated to give them as much money.
Well, not only that, but when I go to a restaurant, depending on, if it's, just a regular, mom and pop, or maybe a fancy place for a fancy, event, I got in my head about what I'm going to.
Yeah.
And I always set that aside for the servers. But like you said, if the bill comes out at $60, then I'm going to give them a really nice tip. If it comes out at $120, then guess what? They're not going to get.
They're going to get that $60 tip.
I just don't have the money to do that.
Well, I understand that. The employers don't have the money to pay it either. So that's the problem. So
I get it. So anyway, I appreciate your time.
Hey,
I'm going to let somebody else get in. Thanks for listening.
I appreciate your call, Tom. Anytime. Have a Merry Christmas. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye.
Lines are open for you. Give us a call here on the Art Lewis Show.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you've learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Wright's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, December 8th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
Menards is your plumbing headquarters. Complete your bathroom update with Delta. Replace your A bathroom faucet from Delta. Its Spot Shield technology uses antimicrobial protection that keeps your faucet staying cleaner longer by resisting water spots and fingerprints. Delta faucets are easy to install and last twice as long as industry standards. Get yours today at Menards for $89.99. Price is good through December 18th. Plus, get a Menards gift card, the perfect gift this season.
Life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Did you know there's a conservative advocacy and benefits organization with over 2 million members and counting? It's AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Hi, this is Mary Walter. Here are 3 reasons why you should consider joining AMAC right now. First, AMAC saves you money from discounts on travel and lodging, cell phones and plans, access to insurance products, and more. Joining AMAC is a powerful tool against inflation. Second, daily website content, podcasts with America's thought leaders, and an app that delivers insightful coverage of the issues that matter most. AMAC is a trusted source of information. And third, the reason that people say is their favorite is that AMAC fights for your conservative values on Capitol Hill. With more than 2 million members, AMAC is a voice that cannot be ignored, working tirelessly to preserve the freedom secured by our Constitution. Go to amac.us/liberty and join today. That's amac.us/liberty. US/liberty.
Attention all business owners who rent or lease space, including storage space. Stop wasting your money paying someone else for your space. You can now save a ton of money and own your own building with the incredible end of the year sale prices from General Steel. That's right. Start saving money every month on renting space from others. Just call 888-74-STEEL to see how General Steel can help you save money. Our 50-year structural warranty designed for your needs and save you a ton of money. Call 888-74-STEEL.
Take it from a successful entrepreneur. If you need to expand or start a new business, you need General Steel.
Great team and the competitive pricing is the reason I went with General Steel.
Call 888-74-STEEL now, and you can get any of our popular quick construction structures, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building at end of the year savings. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-747-8335. 888-74-STEEL.
You to join with Covenant Kids, Impact Saginaw Credit Unions for Lights Before Christmas. It's an opportunity for you to help shine a little light into the lives of hospitalized children during the holidays. Every night from Monday, December 5th through Friday, December 9th, you're invited to the Covenant Healthcare parking lot at 1000 Houghton Avenue in Saginaw. You can start gathering around 6:30 p.m. and at 7 o'clock, windows of the hospitalized kids for 2 minutes. You can shine flashlights, glow foam tubes, or anything that lights up. Free flashlights will be provided to the first 100 attendees each night by Impact Saginaw Credit Unions. Each evening, a different musical act will be featured for entertainment, from cookies and hot chocolate and more to be given away. And you can further help by donating a new, unwrapped toy at Impact Saginaw Credit Union locations. Visit WSTW.com and click on the Lights Before Christmas box for all the information you need so you can join in.
And we are back, and let's go back to our phones. Jerry is in Saginaw. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
On this minimum wage thing, these people are on the low end of making any money, and I'm assuming you got raises through your lifetime, didn't you?
Some, not in the last number of years, but yes. But let's. Anyway. Are we going to talk? Are we talking about waitresses and waiters when you say lower income?
No, I know it, but then we have this situation. You saw the baseball players making $300 million.
That's the other side of the coin.
A person on minimum wage can't even go to the ball game.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. Because of what? Because of what they're paying those players and everything else. Now, you talk to these baseball teams, and they will tell you a lot of the money that they spend comes from their media contracts, what television has to pay them for the rights for the games and so forth and so on. The fact is, that it's getting cost prohibitive to go to a game for most people.
Right, but I'm sure sponsors are paying more money too.
Well, they are, and if sponsors pay more money, who pays the sponsors? We do, with what we buy.
I know,
which means their products cost more.
I agree,
it's vicious.
It is. I mean, it's ridiculous, is what it is. When you're paying that kind of money,
and it's a never-ending cycle.
Well, you're right. It's gotten worse because the amount of money involved is so much bigger too, and everything.
I had a discussion a long time ago. There was a sportscaster in Saginaw. Many people remember Art Neal, and he's a buddy of mine. And I had him way back when he was still doing sports on television. We had the discussion, and back then, hundreds of thousands of dollars and $1 million was considered a lot. But his notion was, and to a degree, Art was right. You get what you can negotiate. There's a giver and a taker, and if the giver wants to give it, the taker's going to take it. And these contracts have gotten ridiculous. And free agency, I'm not a big fan of free agency, but it's here, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I think it's driven the prices way beyond reason.
Right.
I love Justin Verlander. He's an outstanding pitcher. He just signed a 2-year contract with New York Mets, and I think the number I heard was $86 million for 2 years. Come on, right. It's just it's just getting out of hand.
If his arm goes to hell, he's still going to get it.
Jesus, certain guarantees, yeah. All right.
All right.
Jerry, appreciate the call. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yep.
Bye-bye now. We talk about your 401k for a minute. It can be an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years, even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor. Prior to implementation, advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan. And let me take a moment to talk about Krijak's House Family Restaurant. Proud to be a business that serves this area with the finest in dining and takeout services, and grateful for all of you who have supported them through the years. They look forward to serving all of you. Every day is takeout day at Krijak's, today from 11 to 7, Friday and Saturday 11 to 8. Krijak's House Family Restaurant at the corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. For takeouts, reservations, parties, events, call 894-5531. Krijak's House.
When it comes to protecting your field from disease and environmental stress, there's Revitec fungicide, and there's everything else. When it comes to unparalleled power, there's Revitec, and everything else. And when it comes to speed and stamina, this is everything else. Nothing else comes close to Revitec fungicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
And that's going to wrap up this hour of the Art Lewis Show and today's program, for that matter. Coming up after the news on Focus, we're going to talk finances today, financial wellness. We're going to do that with Nolan McIntosh from the McIntoshes. You hear their show on the weekends here on WSGW. So stick around for that. We'll have news first. CBS is going to bring you up to date on the world. and on the national scene. And then Michael Percher will be here to bring you up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. And just a reminder that we had an announcement earlier that southbound I-75 south of Birch Run exit was at a standstill for about a mile. We're not sure if that's been alleviated yet, so you might want to avoid that area. The news is next.
The Saginaw Spirit play here from the premier kitchen and bath gallery studios. WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. A case that could reshape American elections is before the nation's highest court.
Even though these are federal elections, state lawmakers are the ones who decide on a lot of the details, but state courts can override them. Republicans in North Carolina don't want them to intervene, giving them final say. Attorney David Thompson.
The Elections Clause requires state legislatures the federal function of prescribing regulations for federal elections. States lack the authority to restrict the legislature's substantive discretion when performing this federal function.
If the justices agree, the decision could allow state legislatures to set the rules for these federal elections, even if they result in partisan gerrymandering and violate state constitutions. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
The runoff election in Georgia went to the Senate incumbent, Democrat Raphael Warnock.
The work that we must do is difficult. The issues are not simple, they're complex. But here's my promise to you, I will walk with you even as I work for you.
He won a hard-fought victory over Republican Herschel Walker.
We've had a tough journey, have we not? But one of the things I want to tell all of you is you never stop dreaming.
Democrats will now have a 51-49 edge in the Senate. Up for consideration in Congress, a defense bill that would undo some pandemic.
The Pentagon policy bill includes a provision repealing the military's vaccine mandate. Since the defense authorization bill is seen as a bipartisan compromise that must pass by the end of the year, the administration's hand appears forced, while National Security Council spokesman John Kirby calls the move a mistake.
We do take some comfort in knowing that more than 97% across DOD have been vaccinated.
Republicans argued the mandate led to thousands of discharges and damaged recruiting efforts. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
Well, China has decided to ease off some of its strict COVID-19 measures, which have been the subject of protests. Asia correspondent Elizabeth Palmer says some testing requirements are being dropped and isolation rules eased.
The risk now is with so many under-vaccinated elderly people facing a huge surge in COVID deaths.
After a big season in the big leagues. Free agent slugger Aaron Judge, with 62 home runs in the American League, is staying in the Bronx, agreeing to a 9-year, $360 million contract with the Yankees. Checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 141 points. The NASDAQ is up 2. The S&P is up 14. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
This season, get medieval on Rhizoctonia with the powerful protection of Excalia fungicide from Valent USA. Your sugar beets from the treachery of Rhizoctonia. Excalia delivers excellent staying power, keeping your sugar beets from being conquered. Stay one step ahead of Rhizoctonia with the powerful protection of Excalia. Ask your retailer or visit valent.com/Excalia to learn more. Always read and follow label instructions.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners.
As like a little one-on-one teacher, it has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. And full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans. So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This News.
Partly cloudy skies and 39 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A scam alert has gone out in Tuscola County regarding someone impersonating a police officer. The Tuscola County Sheriff's Department says on December 3rd, they received a fraud complaint when a resident got a phone call from a person claiming to be a state police trooper from the Caro Post asking for money. The suspect said the person had a warrant out for their arrest and even provided a picture of a fake arrest warrant to the victim. Police say the scammer asked for $2,000 and a lesser amount on a Visa gift card. The call came from the phone number 989-214-7. Police say that number has been used in several scams claiming to be from the state police. The Sheriff's Department is reminding people they will never contact someone over the phone asking for money or personal identification or anything regarding a warrant. Applications to the Bernard F. and Melissa Ann Bailey Family Fund Healthcare Scholarship Program at My Michigan Health are now available for the 2023-2024 school year. The fund, initiated through a $3.3 million bequest left by Bernard Bailey to My Michigan, was established to further the goals of students pursuing clinical health care careers from an accredited college or university. Under the stewardship of the My Michigan, scholarships are awarded to students in healthcare fields on the basis of merit and established criteria as determined by an overseer committee. Students may access the application online at mymichigan.org/Bailey. Applications and support documentation will only be accepted electronically. The deadline for the 2023-2024 school year is Wednesday, March 1st. For more information, call 989-839-1307. For other scholarship opportunities, visit mymichigan.org/scholarships. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. Roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a...
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast. A bill designed to help target natural disaster mitigation funding is heading to the president's desk after making it through the U.S. House of Representatives. The legislation would require the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to use information from their online National Risk Index to designate at-risk communities that are in need of disaster mitigation projects as community disaster resilience zones. The index measures risk factors on a county-by-county basis for 18. The bill was authorized by Michigan Senator Gary Peters. Peters says that by using this data to help direct public and private investment to communities that face a high risk of natural disasters for mitigation, taxpayers will save money on the response and cleanup to disasters when they do happen. The Community Disaster Resilience Zone Act passed in the House after making it through the Senate in September and now awaits the president's signature. If you're stuck trying to find a gift idea for someone, how in Michigan, That's a suggestion by Travel Michigan Vice President Dave Lorenz.
There are so many things that you can see and do here in Michigan that people just simply love. We offer virtually everything for everybody of any need, a four-season environment with so much to offer, big cities, small towns, beach towns, rural communities, wonderful experience like skiing and golfing.
Lorenz says many also like concert tickets and other popular events like Van Gogh in America. He says travel is coming back from the pandemic, but they still haven't seen enough people back to work. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today with a high into the mid-40s. 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and a low around 30. By Thursday, partial sunshine develops, high 38 degrees. Friday, a chance for snow early, then mixing with rain, then becoming all rain late. Cloudy skies and a high around 40. Saturday, partial sunshine develops, high 40 degrees. Then by Sunday, a chance for snow early, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 42. Monday, mostly cloudy, we'll see high 41 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 43.
Now, it's as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Hey, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Focus on WSGW, sponsored by RoofMax, the safe, proven, easy, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. Today we're going to talk about financial health, and we're going to do that with someone who knows something about it, because they're in business to take care of your financial health. From McIntosh and Associates, we say good morning to Nolan McIntosh. Nolan, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. I hope you're doing well, too.
We are.
When we talk about financial health, what does that phrase mean?
I mean, there's a lot of encompassing into that, isn't there? It could be, kind of our slogan we have here is that your health is just as important as your wealth. And we do health insurance and obviously wealth management here as well. But it's really, a lot of people have things in place, but they don't have a plan. They just say, hey, I hope I make it. And so they've never had a really good wealth do to your doctor, right? They don't, you're supposed to go to your doctor annually and say, hey, is everything okay? And hopefully if there isn't something okay, they're catching it, right? Where the same thing goes on with your financial profile and your financial pictures. If we don't have a checkup, how are we supposed to know if we're doing okay? Or if there's something that's, really wrong that we need to take care of?
That's an interesting analysis with the doctor. And I'll tell you why I say that, Nolan. I can't believe how many people go to the doctor, spend their hard-earned money, and then totally disregard the advice the doctor gives them. Is that true in the financial world too?
Well, sometimes, right? Sometimes that is. But really, I mean, we hope not, right? We're hoping that they're taking the doctor's advice. And ultimately, it's one of those things, too, that we look at, too, is if your primary doctor, right, they are not the people that you would go to give you specific advice if you had something other than just a routine checkup. And so that's kind of where we kind of put ourselves in that analogy, is that we're the specialist on the financial planning side. We're supposed to be able to looking at where income is, where our taxes going from here. Do we have enough money? Do we have other income sources? So we try and take that whole picture and make it something that's not, sometimes we try and make that more simple for clients to see, instead of, it's like I said, going to a general practitioner for a cold. If we really have a problem with our financial picture, we really should have a specialist looking at it and making sure we're doing the appropriate steps to get that back in place.
All right. So someone comes to you. What's the first steps? What's the process of getting them from first-time visitor to having a sound financial plan?
Yeah, so we call them visits. I mean, because everybody's familiar with the doctors, we call them visits. And so really we have sometimes it takes us even 4 steps, but the first step, we call that a discovery visit. So that way we can get to learn about them. We do not service everyone, and that's on purpose. We can't help everyone, and that's okay. We definitely try and educate somebody. If they're in a place where we can at least give them some help and they don't become a client, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But obviously, if there's something that we need to look at, then we go on to the next visit, which is called an analysis. And that analysis is literally like getting an MRI done or getting some blood tests done. What we're doing is we're saying, with the results that you've given us, this is where we think we need to take some action, and this is the analysis that we look at in that visit to say these are some of the things that we need to make sure that you're healthy, right? Your financial plan is healthy at that point. And then the third visit, the implementation, meaning we've given our diagnosis basically on the problem, and then obviously if we want to fix it, right? If we have cancer, we need to do something about it usually. Well, same thing on the financial plan. If there's something that needs to be fixed, the implementation is that next stage where we say, okay, now welcome to the McIntosh family. We can't wait to be your advisor for the rest of your life. We don't want you to have another advisor. Our job is to keep you for life. So that's kind of where the implementation comes in.
Just out of curiosity, how many people come with multiple advisors?
A lot, because they hear the word diversification. They think that means that I need to have multiple different firms in my back pocket.
Read my mind.
And that's, yeah, you got it. So we don't really want that. Doesn't mean diversification. Diversification means that obviously we don't have all buckets, and this could be not only from what's in the market, account versus what's in an income piece versus. It could also mean, are we diversified in our tax picture? Because everybody doesn't realize this. I think that taxes can play a significant role in retirement, and a lot of people think that in retirement, taxes are going to go down, and that may not be true currently because tax laws are going to change very recently here. Be something that has to happen in order for you to keep taxes lower in retirement, even just based on where we're at today. So that's the interesting part about that, is that it does make a difference on where we're headed, and diversification does not mean you have multiple different firms. Sometimes that can actually be worse because the right hand doesn't know what left hand's doing, and we really, honestly, for our clients, we tell them we can't serve you in our best capacity if we don't know. Right? It's like going to the doctor, right? If you don't give them all the symptoms, they're going to make a diagnosis based on what you give them for symptoms. Well, same thing goes if you have multiple advisors. Sometimes that doesn't work because we don't know all the symptoms.
And typically, how long a process are we talking about? For somebody coming in first time, that first visit till the time there's actually implementation, how long are we talking about?
Well, sometimes that's up to the client.
Yeah, I guess.
Need to think about something. Yeah, so
going back to the client.
Yeah, you got it. Honestly, there isn't much. I mean, and again, we don't argue with people from the standpoint of philosophy, right? Our philosophy is what our philosophy is, and that's going to be different from the person down the street, which is fine. That doesn't mean that we're wrong or they're right. It's just our philosophy, and so ultimately, if their philosophy aligns with ours, we can implement, within 2 weeks. So it's very easy to be able to do some of those. For us, we breathe this. We love to do. For it's easy on us. Sometimes more of that difficult hurdle sometimes is just the client making up their mind on what they want to do.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a break, Nolan. We'll be back. We're talking to Nolan McIntosh from McIntosh and Associates. You hear their program on the weekends here on WSGW, and they're located in Freeland. We'll tell you more about that when we return right after these notes.
Mike here from Westside Decorating Center. Are you looking to save time when shopping? We all are. The next time you need paint, flooring, or window treatments, stop into our store. We have fast, efficient, and knowledgeable staff members available to help. We sell top quality ceramic paint from California Paints. Ceramic paints provide a washable and stain-resistant finish. We also have to assist with flooring and window treatments. We even make house calls. For your next project, remember to use California Paints from Westside Decorating Center. We're located at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com.
I got it.
Thank you, honey.
Mom, it's for you.
Oh, let me dry my hands. Hold on. Oh, and it looks like we've got one too many table settings. Your brother couldn't get leave. He's not going to be
right here.
Tommy!
Surprise.
How'd you get here?
Well, I know some folks.
This holiday season, let NBS International Airport with services through United and Delta Airlines bring the whole family together. Feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. From today, visit nbsairport.org.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stop at Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting, wildlife, and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
And we're back with you here on Focus, talking to Nolan McIntosh from McIntosh and Associates in Freeland. Nolan, I noticed in looking at your website and in your particular bio, something called the SERVE philosophy. What is the signature SERVE philosophy of the McIntosh Group?
Well, I mean, and nuts and bolts of it, I think, to be honest with you, Mindy and I are pretty faith-based, and so we think that we're put on this earth to serve others. And so we use the SERVE model in the sense of being able to, put other people's needs ahead of ours. That's number one. And number two, do in our best capacity to be able to serve them, to make sure that and help them, financially, or even in the health insurance world, we can make them in a better position than when they left our office. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. But we actually have an acronym for that, so that's something we can share with our clients or our potential clients when they come in. Is that SERV actually stands for something, each letter. But really, that's the ultimate nuts and bolts of us. We just want to make sure that we're serving in our best capacity.
And let's talk about the services you provide. McIntosh and Associates. What types of services can a person get from you?
Yeah, so I mean, we like to call ourselves a holistic planner, meaning we not a lot of shops in our calling that can do what we do as far as health insurance and Social Security timing and life insurance and wealth management and income pieces and estate planning, so and legacy planning, so. And tax planning. Let's go on there. So we're not CPAs, right? But from that standpoint, we look at projected taxes and where we're headed. So holistically, we think for example, I mean, some people know that the market is currently volatile and going down. We think that taxes are even more of an important futuristic issue than even a down market that we're seeing right now, because we know taxes are going to probably change. Us, we think it's very important that we kind of look at the whole picture, instead of just saying, hey, we just do health insurance, or hey, we can do life insurance for you. I think for us, the biggest way that we look at things is holistically looking the whole picture to make sure we're serving in the best capacity based on what that client's needs are.
And your wife was actually the brainchild behind the business, right?
She still is.
I gave you that opportunity.
Yeah, she is a brilliant woman. Obviously, Mindy and I work together and own the firm together, but she is, from a business standpoint, very great. But her heart is just so, I mean, that's really ultimately where our business intentionally to just help people and just amazing woman.
Yeah, she carries a lot of licenses, doesn't she?
She does. She's health and life insurance licensed, and I mean, she will do product training for a client. She might never write this one product for another client, but she has to do all this product training in order to write for this one client. She will do that if that's the best thing for that client. So it's interesting how she can just, and she's brilliant in that sense that she knows everything from that perspective. But yeah, it's great that she definitely has the heart to make sure we're doing what's best.
So where are you located? Let's tell everybody where you're located.
Yeah, so Freeland here, Michigan, and we are there's a little strip mall behind Taco Bell and Subway off of 47. If everybody knows where 47 is, there's one stoplight here in Freeland, and so that stoplight basically, right behind that is kind of where we're at. So been here since we moved here in 2009, and we were across the street in another strip mall there, but then we moved back here for our biggest office space here back here.
Do you do seminars?
We do and we don't. I mean, we've done some Medicare seminars, so we don't do a lot of things. We try and do what's called lunch and learn. So we used to do them at Baines, when the weather was a little bit better. But we try and give the education on either Medicare or life insurance or wealth management or income planning. So we do lunch and learns out at Baines. We'll probably get that started again, because they closed down for a while, and so we'll probably get back to it again. But we don't give like dinner seminars or something of that nature where you come in and have a dinner. Yeah. Yep.
And of course, people can hear both of you Sundays at noon here on WSGW.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a great. We think that we just started radio about a year and a half ago, and we've had some really, really great feedback on that. And we try and give some different ideas on some different things on whether again be taxes or life insurance, not necessarily being a death benefit, but maybe a tax play.
Sure.
We try and give as much information on that radio show as we can, and we love doing it.
All right, let's conclude with your website. Tell everybody where to get information.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so wealthmichigan.com is our website, or our phone number is 989-692-2200. If there's anything that we've talked about today, or even on the radio show that we can help you with, then by all means contact us, and we'd be happy to help.
Fantastic. Nolan, have a very Merry Christmas, you and yours, and we'll probably talk to you in the new year, I'm sure.
Sounds great. You too, Art. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Nolan McIntosh from the McIntoshes, and again, you can hear them Sundays from noon to 1 here on WSGW, and we'll be back to close out and find out what's happening in the marketplace.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, but every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish, or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
Bay City Bridge Partners is bringing you the same convenient route between home, work, school, and many of Bay City's best restaurants and attractions. It's Liberty Bridge, but better. With a smooth new deck surface, new more reliable bascule mechanics,